Hello everyone, welcome to game number 3 of week number 3 of the Entities Campfire. We have an exciting lineup here today. It is Artix versus Gamblers. Artix, Simple Yak on the Dracula against the Gamblers. Zeka, Furious, Lily, and Mary, two of my ex-team captains from Meadow. Amazing players, so I'm expecting amazing things. And we see a chase onto Furious immediately by Simple Yak. Simple Yak trying to go for an M1, however, it will not work in wolf form. Furious continuing chase here against the Dracula here. Moving over to the 3 side of the map here. Beautiful start here. This is looking like a really good chase here. Furious, and then what the hell was that? Okay, I might be lagging a little bit here, ladies and gentlemen, but we're heading back over to 6. Furious that gets to live another day without any injury. And we are seeing a pre-drop of the seawall. Very good choice here as we see Mary taking chase over at the 6 seawall here. Dracula can actually play the seawall very well and has the ability to, yeah, here we go, and we're seeing perhaps a tag here. No, Mary actually doing a very good job playing out her resources very well. Will not be taking a tag just yet as we're continuing chasing the 6 side of the map here. 1 bound, 2 bound equals a tag onto Mary. Very good start for our survivors of Gamblers, however, as Artix continuing to take chases in the right spot. Over to the 3 side of the map here, we will take window. That will not be a down for Simple Yak just yet. However, a down needs to happen very quickly because Gamblers has a very good start. 1 bound, 2 bound equals a pallet break, but not a down. Mary heading back over to the 6 side of the map as we are trying to play as many of the resources that we have as possible. We have a lot of resources here on the Wrecker's Yard this time, ladies and gentlemen. RNG was on the Gamblers side as we are continuing chase from Drac to wolf form. And we are breaking the pallet. This will give Mary a little bit of breathing room to make it back to 6, as I believe this pallet was not dropped. That's right, so Mary still has a bit of stuff to use here. Amazing stuff from Mary. 1 bound, 2 bounds will mean finally a down for Simple Yak, but not, or completely, sorry, at the cost of 2 generators, 1 in main and 1 over on the 9 side of the map. That is a very good start for Team Gamblers here as we are getting a pain resonance over on the 7 tile. Beautiful stuff here from Simple Yak. You love to see this kind of a start, especially against a killer like Dracula. Dracula, one of those killers that can either get 6 stages or a 4K. Dracula, very strong killer, but can vary widely depending on the individual skill of both survivor and killer, and also based on RNG. And it looks like the RNG was definitely for Gamblers. Or pop goes the Weasel on 12 as we're heading back to the hook here. Marie getting unhooked. Do we see an FTP? No, there's no FTP as a reset was attempting to happen. Wolf form happening here. Trying to see if we can get a quick down, and we will get a quick down. Unfortunate stuff here from Mary. Difficult to actually check spot the wolf form, and that is what makes the wolf form pretty strong. Other than the fact that it's basically Wesker's power, but a little bit better. Now we are taking Mary to the basement. This is absolutely what you need here if you are Artix. You need a hook somewhere where it's not easy for them to really unhook it, and in the shack, it's going to be very difficult, especially against Dracula with the Hellfire. We know for a fact someone is around here. We're seeing the fading of scratch marks. Pop was the Weasel on 12. That's the 2nd regression event, perhaps the 3rd, considering Eruption. In fact, I believe it was the 3rd. Another gen popping over on the 3 side of the map here. Trying to get these generators out of the way as possible. While we have time, we're going to be doing a little bit of home renovation. Breaking these pallets, making sure that into the 3v1, the survivors don't have much to use. And we want to make sure that we're ending chases very quickly into the 3v1, because this is going to be looking like a death at 1 generator remaining. Maybe even less because of the nature of this hook spot. We are seeing Furious here. Furious was trying to go for a pallet for a unhook onto Mary, but I do not believe it'll be possible here. However, we are still going to be attempting. Hellfire misses, meaning it will be balanced landing. Is this even a trade? It's a trade, yes. So this is going to be a trade inside of the basement. A down onto Furious also means Eruption onto 12. We do hear either, I think that was Lily on 12 here. Bat forming out of shack here. A pallet stun to boot. Very good stuff here from Mary. Mary needs to last as long as possible. That's all Mary needs to do. Meanwhile, 1 survivor will be rotating into the shack to try to maybe pick up Furious as quickly as possible while the generators are being progressed. This generator very close to popping. It is Lily. Lily takes a tag here. vampire form to try to shut down this chase as quickly as possible. Hellfire coming through. Will it land true? Let us see. No, we're just using it to zone, and that will mean Lily will be going down. However, Mary finishes the gen in front of Yak's face. Beautiful, beautiful stuff from Team Gamblers here. Very good coordination, as we are not even seeing a pain resonance coming through, and that is all generators popping. Beautiful stuff here from Gamblers, as we are finally seeing Furious. At this point, you want as many fresh stages as possible, and Furious is absolutely meets the criteria for that. We are just going for the M1. We're not bothering to bounce. No funny business happening here. And unfortunately, a locker pull at that. Very, very good stuff here from Team Gamblers. Gamblers has managed to make this potentially a 6th stage. However, a fresh hook in the basement is unfortunate. Now, if you're Gamblers, you might actually be attempting. No, it looks like they're just wanting to take the outs. Maybe they opened the gates to... No. They're just taking the out. So this first game of Dracula is a 6th stage. We will be right back with Gambler's killer. It's probably going to be Zeka on the Dracula versus Artix's survivors. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Entities Campfire. We are here, back on the Wrecker's Yard here with Zeka, this time on the Dracula, Simple Yak, Josh Archery, Havoc, and Starlax here on the Survivor side of Artix. Yak taking a tag, heading over to the 12th side of the map here. Can we actually get a very quick down here? You would actually love to see it. Not quite. No, we're actually going to be looping this side of the map here. Hellfire coming through, needs to land true. Instead, no. Yak wants to head over to this rock here to prevent the down as quickly as, or from coming down too quickly. However, it will mean an unfortunate zone. And Zeka gets a very, very early down. Very, very well played from Zeka. Zeka wants to find a hook here, presumably for a pain resonance, because he understands that maybe Shaq was being progressed quite a bit. This is actually your highest proc. Now, this is actually very, very, very good if you are Zeka, because you can actually now working Shaq is nigh impossible. As we see Josh going over to the 6th side of the map. However, we are not interested in continuing on to that chase. We also understand that there's someone working the 7th side of the map here, and we also see that it is Havoc taking chase into Shaq, going over to 3. Now we are not interested in looping Shaq. We want to take it as far away as possible from this unhook, and a dodge means that Havoc does not get tagged. Beautiful dodge from Havoc there, and then Dracula form coming through, maybe to get a Hellfire, but no, instead we are content with going back to hook, as we do not want to let the hook go too early here. We want to try to get this to second, as this is a very, very good start here for Zeka. Zeka is seeing, I believe it is Havoc was coming in for not Havoc, I apologize. No, it was either Josh or Starlax, so it had to have been, I think, Starlax coming in for the hook. I did not get a good look. As we do want to also scout the rest of the map to see if there's a savior coming in, and also to see if we can't maybe see if we can get a very good tag here. Hellfire, we're holding Hellfire here because we want to confirm this next stage, and we actually will. Yak will be going second here at 5 generators remaining. Very, very good stuff from Zeka, showing his dominance of the Dracula. 9 has a little bit of progress here, and we are seeing that is in fact Josh. Josh working 9, heading over to the 7th side of the map here. There is a bus. Is it good bus? That we'll have to see. Tries to dodge, unfortunately will not have land true. Zeka showing his mastery of the bounds there. Instead of moving his camera, he is moving his mouse and keys so that he can react fast enough to Josh's movements. We are seeing scratch marks here. There is Starlax. This, unfortunately, is going to have to be a trade. Starlax now going down onto the ground, as we are now moving over for Yak. Not taking the pain resonance, actually dropping the shot pallet, breaking it. We are heading over to the 6th side of the map. Now let's see exactly how long Yak can last in this chase. Dropping this pallet here. We have to try to win. Dracula 50s. No, instead, Zeka breaking the pallet, heading back over to... No, we actually confused the Dracula very, very briefly. They're very, very well played here from Yak, as we are heading back over to the 12th side of the map here. And we're actually... No, yeah, okay, now taking chase over to the 6. Now, 6 is a Burger King tile. Not much here for, unfortunately, Yak to use. Beautiful bounce coming in from Zeka. Amazingly done. And that is going to be a death at 3 gens remaining with a slug on the ground, but you have to assume that slug will be picked up soon. And there is Starlax getting picked up off of the ground. And we see scratch marks over on the 12 side. We know 9 was being progressed fairly well. It does actually pop. So 2 generators remaining. You have to assume that was Josh. And there, we find the reset, actually, I believe. No. Yes, we do actually find out where the reset was. So very good misdirect here from Zeka. Not vaulting that window, as this is a 50. We're going to have to win, but beautiful bound from Zeka to hit Starlax into the truck. Very, very well done. Now we want to actually hook over here. Is this also a pain resonance? It is not, no. I think we're doing that because we want to save the pain resonance. Now, it's actually a very good play, because we actually know what progress they have and don't have because of the information that we have on the location of all the survivors. So hooking here is actually very, very good. Yeah, see, that is probably the highest progress that they have. In fact, it definitely is. And we have a 4-gen. A 4-gen with a hook right smack dab in the middle of it. Very, very good for Zeka. As there is Havoc, unfortunately, not getting the trade. Taking a tag is going to have to be a trade, unfortunately, but that will... Oh, I was so confused there. I thought for a split second that It was not a trade, unfortunately, for Zeka. It will be a trade. Starlax taking chase, going over to 3. There is nothing at 3, however, to use. It looks like, no, we have a bit of a 3-lane play in the 3-lane in Wolf form. Wolf form can actually play around the 3-lane very well. As we want to try to jiggy over to the car pallet, but we will actually not make it, and we are just going down. Josh is now injured and has to stealth for his life. Josh might be trying to just work the generator. A little bit of progress on it as well, and we're trying to see maybe if we can find Josh. You might switch to wolf form soon? No, we're just going to kick the gen. A swift kick of the gen. And wolf form. Now wolf form, onto the 7 tile. We unfortunately do not see any sort of stealthing coming from Josh. So Josh showing his mastery of the stealth. And we hear Havoc on the ground right here. There, onto this pallet here, picking up Havoc. And there, we actually do see birds. Now, I forget, I do believe that that might be Starlax, simply because Starlax can crawl. You can crawl and disturb birds, right? But so I do not believe that was Josh that we are looking for. However, if it was, that would be interesting. Josh, if he wants a shot at possibly tying this, will have no choice but to go for an unhook. And Zeka's sitting very pretty here. Zeka doesn't really have to move from this spot. Josh can't progress any gens. Josh can't really leave whatever stealth spot he's in without getting seen by Dracula. This is a very good spot that we're seeing our killer in. And Havoc will actually get unhooked. And now we're looking for Starlax. The reason we're looking for Starlax is because we do not want him to bleed out. A bleed out here would actually mean a decrease in the amount of points that you get. So the sooner we can find Starlax, the absolute better. And Starlax does actually get picked up off the ground here, and we see scratch marks heading over to 9. Very recent scratch marks at that as well. Wolf form coming through. Drop of the pallet as well. There is Havoc breaking the pallet, making this a little bit easier for our killer. Havoc, unfortunately, I don't think has anywhere to run, nothing to use. Has to try to make this pallet, but unfortunately just will not. It looks like Havoc is just content with going to the corner and trying to loop the corner here, but unfortunately it will mean a down Josh getting reset. So resets are coming through. A pickup onto Havoc means that Josh and Starlax will get fully reset. However, this is another hook in a very, very precarious spot for our survivors.
What an emotional display.
Josh and Starlax. Now, the best result that you could possibly get here is a 6 stage, but at this point, Tycon has been met. So all that needs to happen is for all generators to pop and all survivors to leave for it to be a tie. However, the chance of that happening is very slim. And especially if they want even a chance at winning this, they have to pull Havoc. Hellfire coming through, but unfortunately will not land true as we're heading back over to the hook. Let us see if we can have a look. That rhymed. Shack being progressed here. Josh sprint bursting away out of the shack, not bothering to take a tag here, and unfortunately it looks like Havoc is simply going to die. No, we were trying, it looks like, to go for the pull, but unfortunately Zeka is wise to it as we are still working the shack generator, and that is the win condition for Team Gamblers. Gamblers has taken the win on the Dracula set. Very congratulations to Team Gamblers on the first set win. Now we are playing for style as we do know Starlax was around here. There is Starlax taking chase over to the 7 tile. Still has the 7 tile to use as well. Hellfire Dracula coming in. Can we actually take a tag here? Looping around it as much as possible, taking the window. Beautiful, beautiful Hellfire from Zeka as we are interested in leaving. A tag and leave, a tag and leave. That gen is still sparking. And we are clicking the shack generator as well, getting as much regression on it as possible. We want to dash the hopes of Team Gamblers as much as we possibly, or our Team Artix as much as we possibly can of popping another generator by just regressing. Zeka showing his mastery of the killer. That is Dracula. Vampire form coming through, as it will mean we spot Starlax, and Starlax unfortunately was not wise to it, did not know where our killer was, unfortunately just did not have the comms to understand the location of our killer. Probably got a bit jump scared there. As that will be a hook on the 12 side of the map. Pain Resonance coming through. And now you just camp this. You just camp this to death and then you take Hatch. And there is very little that Josh Archery can possibly do about that. It all comes down now to whether Josh Archery can actually open an exit. Because if Josh actually can open an exit gate and leave, that would be great. However, these gates are very, very killer-sided, right? We are seeing gates on the 1, and we are seeing gates on 5. Now, these gates, you can just probably look at one location and see lights turning on. So this will be very, very difficult for Josh to actually play around. You might have to... You might have to try to play for a hatch here, but it looks like Josh actually doesn't want to do that. Josh does, in fact, want to play for the exit gates. These exit gates are very, very difficult, however. Zeka shutting the hatch, and we begin the patrol. Now we are simply looking around to see if we cannot find Josh. Josh, unfortunately, now here's the thing, right? Oh, there's Josh. I was about to say, here's the thing, Josh. You might want to stealth a lot of this timer to maybe make Zeka a little bit impatient. However, unfortunately, Josh not able to get to the exit gate in time, as this will be a 4K with 2 generators remaining for Team Gamblers. Beautiful stuff here from Team Gamblers. Now it's just a 1v1 chase against Josh. Zeka versus Josh. Let's see how long this lasts. 1 bound, 2 bound. We were trying to maybe go for a bit of a old wolf hug tech there, but that no longer works, Zeka, and I think you're well aware of that. We're continuing chase over to 3. 1 bound, 2 bound. We are trying to go for some fancy flicks, it looks like. We were just testing our limits here, just having a fun little friendly 1v1 between Zeka and Josh. These two are great friends, so no need to worry about that, as we are seeing our hook at 6. And that is confirming our 4K with 2 generators remaining. We will be right back for our second set. It's going to be Gamblers, Spirit, Lily on the Spirit versus Team Artix. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Entities Campfire. We are back on the Wrecker's Yard, this time with some Spirit gameplay. Lily on the Spirit representing Team Gamblers for Simple Yak, Havoc, Starlax, and Josh Archery on the Survivor side of Artix. Phasing, let's listen out. An unfortunate stun coming in here onto Lily. However, chase onto Havoc, heading over to the 6th side of the map here. Another phase to boot as well. Havoc, amazing stuff from Havoc here, taking an amazing chase back over to 3, getting the stun onto Lily time and time again. Another phase, but unfortunately it will not mean. Unfortunately, does lose the 50-50 there. Overcome to get over to the 6th side of the map here. Another phase will be coming in very, very shortly. And by very, very shortly, I mean right now, as we're getting the stun onto Lily. Yet again, beautiful stuff here from Havoc, taking a really, really good Spirit chase here. As we are switching to Josh, as Josh takes a tag over on the 7 tile. Heading over to the 9 tile right now. As that is a seawall. Maybe trying to mess up a little bit of Josh's or Lily's audio with that flashbang, and Lily does unfortunately get stunned to boot with that. Very, very well done from Team Artix. This start is quite incredible. Not a down yet against the killer that tends to get downs very, very quickly. Josh now needs to win a Spirit 50, but maybe we're actually planning on dying on the pallet. We are planning on dying on the pallet, as here is Havoc. Can this pallet save come through? No, it cannot. Very, very well played from Lily to pick up immediately and then swing right out of that pallet, and that will mean we are going into the basement. Beautiful stuff from Lily. A generator has not yet popped, but this is still a decent start here for Team Artix, as we are seeing a little bit of progression on all fronts here. We are seeing chase onto Yak here, however, we are interested in tagging and leaving. Not even tagging, we're just going to leave and defend our hook here. The survivors of Artix will want to probably just sit and camp this hook, and unfortunately Yak will be taking a tag here. Does that mean we actually see a save onto Lily in the meantime? No, we do not, unfortunately, as we are seeing Havoc coming through there. Havoc is just going to... No, it looks like Lily is actually going to sit in the middle of the shack here, preventing the save from coming through. Unfortunately, ooh, Havoc getting a little bit fat-shamed by Lily's Spirit here, but unfortunately does actually get through to Josh, as Havoc will be trading Josh on this hook. We are not interested in camping this or rehooking this. We instead want to go find Josh again. Shack pallet being dropped, continuing chase over to the 12th side of the map here. It is a crane pallet, and this crane pallet is immediately going to be dropped. Has to try to waste the killer's power as much as possible, but unfortunately will not make the window. Very, very well done from Lily. As you have a slug in the basement, agitation going back into the basement. Oh dear, this is not looking good for Team Artix, as we have 2 hooks in the basement here. Beautiful stuff from Lily. And only 1 generator to show for it. Perhaps 2? No, only 1 generator to show for it. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. We are seeing scratch marks over at the 10 tile. However, yeah, the survivors of Team Artix understand that they have no choice. They have to help their teammates here. Otherwise, it is going to be devastating stuff. Yak, now, unfortunately, going into the basement here, will take the tag. And it will also mean a trade between Yak and Josh. Josh now leaving the basement. And we are interested in, honestly, just taking this new hook. Okay, that's fine. Another fresh hook. Meanwhile, the other survivors are going to have to probably try to play for resets if they want a chance at coming back from this. They have to do something about these basement hooks. Otherwise, it is going to be a very dangerous situation. And Lily doesn't have to do anything. Lily can just stay right in the smack dab middle of the entire map and wait. There is Starlax. Beautiful stuff from Lily to read where she was going, using audio very, very well, but unfortunately will not get the down until right now. Starlax now going down. Josh has to respond very quickly. Does Josh actually respond by going into the basement? No, Josh does not respond by going into the basement. Josh instead choosing to wait. Maybe perhaps we're faking out the pickup onto Starlax to maybe bring Josh out of hiding. But no, Josh is known to me as a pretty decent stealther, so we might not be seeing Josh for a very, very long time here. As the pickup does come through. Now the question is, do we take... Yep, we're just going straight back to the basement, as there is Josh phasing to maybe stop the unhook. Does it land true? It does, but unfortunately not at the cost of a trade here. Havoc, the only person left standing. Can Lily shut down this chase very, very quickly, heading over to 12, maybe trying to go for a pickup, but unfortunately that is a 4-man slug. And are we about to see a butterfly in the basement? It looks like we are. Josh with the unbreakable, however. That was the saving grace, and that actually is a drop. Are we seeing breakout here? Starlax just going straight back on the ground. Josh going straight back on the ground. It is just Yak up now. Has to pick up these serves. Havoc and Yak both up now. Phasing over to the 10 tile. Can we shut down Yak as quickly as possible? Unfortunately, no. As Yak will live to see another day as we're heading back into basement. We can't afford to give any more pressure back to these survivors here. That unbreakable play absolutely gave Artix a little more breathing room, as all the survivors are back up but Josh. Josh, however, is dead, as we are entering a 3v1 at 4 generators remaining with all the survivors injured. Beautiful stuff here from Lily. Let's see what's happening. We are seeing a generator being progressed over on the 9 side of the map, and Havoc actually, unfortunately, is going down here. The best you can do is probably double this generator, but here's the thing. Lily is heading straight over there, as we're trying maybe to get it done, and no, we are not able to get the final generator, and you have to imagine it was so close. And barring any sort of miracle perk that is unbreakable, but we saw was used already, that will mean this is a 4K with 4 generators remaining. The finding of Havoc confirms it. This is a 4K with 4 generators remaining. Well done to Lily. Well done to Artix. We are now moving on to the second match of Spirit. It will be Gamblers, or Artix this time, playing the Spirit against the survivors of Gamblers. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second game of the second set of game number 3 of week number 3 of the Entities Campfire. We are here with Yak on the Spirit, on the Wrecker's Yard, Lily, Rez, Furious, and Zeka for Team Gamblers, as we are seeing Zeka immediately taking chase on the 9 tile. Needs to win a 50-50. And will actually do very, very good here. Light-footed, potentially, is what we're seeing here. Very, very well done from Zeka. As we are running now over to the 10 side of the map here. No, we are... Yeah, no, we're not hearing... We're actually not straight up hearing any sort of footprints. So, well, very, 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 very likely to be light-footed. Unless I'm wrong. I could be very wrong. My hearing isn't always great. No, I do believe that is footprints, but it is in fact just the light footprints of Renato, as that is our first tag coming in onto Zeka. As we are heading back over to 10, the corrupt side of the map. Generators on the other side of the map, most likely being progressed. Yeah, one is being doubled out, and another being worked on right now. Zeka continuing a very, very, very good chase. Tie condition already been met. And that is a pickup onto Zeka. We want a pain resonance hook. We have agitation. We can make almost any pain resonance hook they throw at us, unless they're all somehow on the other side of the map. Oh wait, no, pain resonance is allowed against this killer. What am I talking about? Sorry about that. I forgot my balancing for some reason. As we are seeing Survivor over on the 12 side of the map here. That is Rez. Rez taking chase now, trying to win his... Has to win a 50-50, it looks like. No, Rez instead just looping around it, not bothering to take chases Yak, as Yak wants to head back to hook, making sure no one gets the unhook for free, but also has to be sure that no one is actually popping any more gens, as remember, the win condition is a 4K with 3 generators remaining for Team Gamblers. The unhook being stealthed for by Lily, as 12 being progressed very slowly but surely. Furious continuing the progress on one of the generators here. Very, very good stuff here from Furious. We will unfortunately not be seeing a tag onto Rez, and we are going to be seeing a phase coming in onto Rez. No, instead we are simply... No, yeah, we were trying to do a bit of a spirit mind game there, but it's not going to quite work out, as Zeka is going to be running back over to the 3 side of the map. Beautiful. Or not Zeka, Rez is going to be running over to the 3 side of the map. Very, very beautiful stuff here from Team Gamblers, and that is the win for Team Gamblers and the entire game. Congratulations to Team Gamblers. Congratulations to Team Artix. Let's see how the rest of this game plays out. Beautiful, beautiful stuff here from Team Gamblers. Our Zeka now taking another tag here. A tunnel out onto Zeka would be what she needs to get the best possible result here. Zeka now has to play a pallet 50, however, does not actually have to play it. Can, in fact, just loop around it very normally. Phasing now is the Spirit here, as we will make the shallow 3 pallet, but no, we are instead dying on the pallet. Beautiful, beautiful stuff here, as we are seeing a pickup to boot, and decisive strike is not coming through because we expected the pallet save. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff here from Yak, forgive me, in stopping the actual pallet save from coming through, as we are seeing a phase heading over to the 2 side of the map here. We see scratch marks as well. That was probably... Nope, it was Furious. Furious now going to be taking the tag, heading over to the 12 side of the map, just taking tag and leave. And Yak is going to be heading back to the hook. We are playing for the best possible result here, and this generator very, very close to popping as well. Kicking it. Eruption applied as we're heading back over to the hook. 12 very, very close to popping, and we are seeing a reset coming through by Lily onto Furious. Beautiful, beautiful stuff here, as we're seeing another phase. We want to prevent 12 from popping, and we do actually do so, as Rez is going to head back over to the 12 side of the map here. Knows that it cannot chase, otherwise the hook will come in, and it will come in very, very quickly, as we're heading back over to the hook here. No one in sight. We might be content with letting Zeka just hang and die here, as it will mean that we will pop even more and more gens. No, Lily's actually stealthing quite close to this unhook. We might be seeing a sprint burst play. Yeah, we are seeing a sprint burst play coming in. This is going to be a trade. It looks like Eruption will have to be called, however. Body blocking to try to prevent it from happening, and it looks like, let's see if they actually let go. No, because the generator pop didn't even need to. Furious continuing his generator while Lily gets hooked onto the hook here. pain, doesn't it? What am I even talking about? No, Zeka now taking chase over to Shaq. Sometimes I talk too fast and I just can't remember what I said. Zeka continuing chase over to 3. He is the tunnel out here. Has a little bit of stuff to use, but not too much. Has to win some pallet 50s here. Life coming through, phasing away as the spirit. Can we actually catch Zeka? We might, but we unfortunately don't, as Zeka now revolts the pallet, heading over to shallow 3 here. 1 generator remaining here for our survivors. And we don't have a tunnel out yet. Phasing back to the unhook is Lily as we see someone coming in. There is Rez. Rez unfortunately will not be taking a tag for Yak. However, Zeka is injured, so this is actually a very campable hook here. If you can actually prevent another unhook from coming in, as we are seeing Rez still pressuring this unhook. Meanwhile, 9 is most likely being progressed. Yes, it is in fact being progressed. Very good stuff here from Furious, as Rez will get the unhook, but will actually go down as a result. And we are just taking the hook as well. 9 is still just being progressed away. Lily and Zeka are both injured. However, Furious is working that generator. Yak needs to head over there very, very quickly if he wants to spot and actually stopping it from popping. But it looks like no, we're actually just heading back over to where the reset is. We understand it is over here on the 3 side of the map here, away from where that generator is being progressed, and we understand that very well as we see Lily coming in, revolting out of the locker, but unfortunately will not get the head on. Is Lily head on? That is actually interesting. No, Lily was just revolting the locker. It looks like perhaps to distract the killer away from 9, as 9 is now so crucially close to popping, but our killer has not yet realized it yet, and that's going to be a 0 gens remaining. All generators will pop. Phasing back to hook is our spirit player. We want to now just secure our stages. Some really, really good plays we're seeing here from Team Gamblers, as it looks like our survivors will just be taking their outs. That means this is a 1K with 5 stages, I believe. We're actually resetting. No, it looks like Team Gamblers wants to actually go for this unhook and minimize the stages here. If there's ever a time to limit test, it would be now. We've already taken the set. Now it's time to see what best we can do. Zeka now taking chase. Zeka was our tunnel out though, so I don't know if this is really the chase you want to be taking, considering Zeka is not fresh hook. Zeka is death hook. However, actually, I just realized it wouldn't really matter since I believe Rez did go second stage. So, you know, having Zeka go down here would not be terrible. As, oh no! This is a mess here. We are seeing a mess of body blocks come through. Furious taking tag here. We actually want to try to maybe trick Zeka into vaulting this pallet, but I don't think it's going to work out. As it does work out. Beautifully done from Zeka. Unfortunately loses the pallet 50 as we are now taking chase onto Lily. This pallet will not be dropped. Lily actually doing a very, very good job of faking out that pallet drop. As we are seeing a pickup on to Zeka with a flashlight save. Lily on the flashlight saves. It's as I remember it. It's always the same. Going over to the 1 gate, and that will be all survivors out the door with 3 stages. Lily on the flashlight, it is the same as when she was my captain, and she is still showing her amazing gameplay. Thank you everyone for coming to the 3rd game. We will be back later with some more amazing content for you. Stay tuned for that. Congratulations to both teams.